All right, we are live. I want to welcome everyone from the Super SHIBA community. We've got Byron and Dane and Gareth and myself, Ben, here, and we are 4 of the 6 doxed either devs or admins. And we just wanted to give you an update on progress. We kind of wanted to really celebrate the fact that we pulled out just such an amazing product that launched so well, and go over some of the achievements and also what we're working on so that everybody can kind of know that. And then right after this video, if you missed in on the live AMA we had in voice chat, by the time you see this, just shoot me a DM. I'm going to have 100 DMs. I'm going to go through them in the morning and we'll help you out. Okay. So yeah, let's start with you, Gareth. Gareth is the deal maker in the house. Gareth, tell us what's been going on with the SafeDex, please.
Yeah, man. Well, look, my focus at the moment is to put some structure around strategic program management, right? And so to put that into context for people, we've got the SafeDex. We launched that 2 days ago. Yesterday, we then launched the pools and farming, day 2. And we've got a lot more utility that's going to be put into the DEX over the coming weeks, as well as a new UI that's going to be released. But that's only a small part of what we're doing here. Super SHIBA is forming into a massive ecosystem, and we're going to be pumping new projects into the DEX that provide utility around Super SHIBA and treats. So we've got the DEX. We've already got 5 projects lined up that people will know about eventually, but we can't talk about it right now. But each of those 5 projects that we've got lined up already is providing additional utility around Super SHIBA. This is creating a massive ecosystem for the Super SHIBA community and our investors, which is awesome. One of the things we need to do, though, is as this ecosystem builds, is that we need to be making sure that we're providing a robust structure within our team. We're already operating at a global level. We're about to increase the team. We've got different teams working on various projects that are all going to be brought into this ecosystem. So in order for us to manage it, we're putting in back-end systems for project management and ticketing so that we can, at any point in time, at a global level, all of our team members are going to be able to see what's happening with their projects, the statuses, and the next actions. And we need to be able to do this so that we're operating 24/7 as a legit global organization. And that's where we're moving to now, okay? We're moving past where we've been so far, and we're moving to a real large organization with a real global structure that's operating 24/7 with loads more projects coming into it. The only thing I'll add to that is I'm personally getting more requests every day for people who want to partner with us. So people want to join the DEX. They want to be part of this huge ecosystem.
And Gareth, sorry, those 5 projects you were talking about, Gareth, that's when you say that, just so no one gets confused, that's not applications. You're saying there's 5 projects and then there's applications that you're getting. Do I understand that right?
Yeah. We've got 5 projects ready to go that are going to be fed into the ecosystem over the coming weeks. Now, I don't know whether that's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We need to do it. We need to do it right. We need to do it right. So we're building the teams up and we're going to push them into this ecosystem. But there's just 5 that we've already got lined up. In addition to that, I've got loads of DMs wanting to partner with us and provide additional utility around Super SHIBA. So this thing's going to be huge. Okay, it's not just the SafeDex. The SafeDex in itself is huge, and the utility we're providing around the SafeDex is huge. But we're looking beyond that. We're creating a huge ecosystem that's going to be changing the crypto space for the better.
Yes, well said, man. It's the scale of this project is massive. People, I hope, understand that when they come here, possibly maybe the fact because they saw a meme. Hopefully, they stay because they see what we're all about here. And it's a lot to put into one sentence. Gareth trying to explain all that. It's like trying to connect all these different things in one, and it's not easy to do. There's a lot to it. I'll just add to that. Something we're doing in the near term is we're doing a complete overhaul of our website. Something that I personally want to do is I want to become the next CoinGecko. I want to become the next CoinMarketCap. How do we do that? Well, we need a database. So currently we're in the process of overhauling our entire website to reflect what would look like a CoinMarketCap or a CoinGecko website, and get that under our umbrella, so that people can come in there and see that we're a legit entity with actual utility, as opposed to just sort of a nice normal looking meme page. So that's something we're working on behind the scenes right now, is rolling out a very large scale website where you have account creation, where you have a Zendesk with facts and forums, where you have just a full, really nice looking page of all of our projects that get listed with us, as well as why we think they're safe and what that entails. So more coming on that in the future. But let's just jump into what I know you guys are anxious to hear about today, and that is the price action that we saw. So of course, when everyone everyone I'm sure assumed that when the farming and staking came out that we would see a big increase in price. And I believe that we did, and it's just not being reflected on the charts that you guys are seeing. And the reason for that is simple. The PancakeSwap trackers on this charts that you go to are tracking from only the liquidity pool on the PancakeSwap. Well, what do? We just created our own exchange. So what's happening is PancakeSwap in KuCoin are tracking the liquidity pool there, but they're not tracking the liquidity that went to our own exchange. So we had a lot of people today, I'm sure, that sold some of their super Shibas and to come into our LP pool on our own exchange. And that would have looked like a normal thing on our network where we didn't lose anything. We just transferred to LP pool, but instead we lost it on those current charts. So what you're seeing on KuCoin in short is not accurate. So currently we're working on a solution for that, because we know that's created some FUD amongst the community, understandably so. No one likes to see the price go down. But those prices, again, they're not accurate. So if you guys are selling on PancakeSwap right now, you're actually selling at a wrong price and getting kind of a shit deal, to be honest with you. So please have patience with us as we are in talks with KuCoin to try to correct these issues so that they track our exchange and PancakeSwaps to get this corrected. I think once you see that they're in sync, you're going to see the price action start to look a lot nicer. And with that said, I'll let Byron say a couple things about what we have coming up. And Aaron talks with maybe a little teaser on some of those listing services, Byron.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, don't want to give too much away, but we're working on the solution to the issue that there's obviously it's hard to find new products and verified audited products in the DeFi, especially the Binance Smart Chain. So we're working on a solution for that right now, and that's going to be integrated with our new website. So our new website, we're really looking to tie in everything within the Super SHIBA ecosystem into one integrated front there. So it will be one launching pad, one platform for all these products and services within this ecosystem. One thing I wanted to touch on as well, because it's just been obviously fresh on everyone's minds, the farming and pools that's just been released by Anthony. And I just wanted to address a few things on that. So obviously, this is a recent release. We've had a lot of questions and comments about particularly the returns on those pools, looking at comparing it to existing exchanges. And I just wanted to sort of provide a little bit of insight behind how that works and a little bit so you can understand where we're at with that. So in terms of the return on that, how that's calculated is the developer in this situation, Anthony, has to work out what's the demand for these farms and pools, and then he sets the, I guess, the minting rate at an appropriate speed based on that. And so what the good news is we totally underestimated how much demand there was for those farms and pools. So we actually, a community really got behind those, which was fantastic to see. But as a result, those returns weren't particularly balanced with that demand, because obviously that was something we couldn't anticipate. And it was good news really that we underestimated how, I guess, much demand there would be for those services. So over the coming few days, that's what's going to be addressed. You might see that return change in that as we start to balance that out with demand. So we thank you for your patience with that, because that is a process of being adaptive. We can't predict exactly how much demand there is going to be for those things. And now that we know that, we can now adapt those farms and pools to better give you a stable return. Obviously, we can't just have that return up 1000x, because that then deflates the currency. So we've got to strike a balance there with the minting rate, as well as how much we need liquidity. So if liquidity is needed more, then that makes sense that there's a better return, because we want to attract new liquidity into those farms and pools. But while liquidity is good, and maybe we're building up and we're getting more service on the platform, the liquidity in there, the return rate might be sort of, I guess, not at the same level as what it may get to. So what I'd say with that is, obviously, it might be something that, like, you hold it for a bit longer because it's something that's going to increase over time, and maybe right now isn't going to be reflective of what you'll get in a week's time and a month's time in those farms and pools.
I actually, just while we're all here too, I want to do something a little off the cuff from what we had put on the agenda, but it's just really important. I'm constantly aware that as we continue to create a safe place for people to trade, and a safer place than anything that they could have experienced before, that we're going to attract a lot of people that are brand new to crypto. I think we saw that last night with the launch of staking and farming. I can't tell you how many DMs I got from people going, all right, man, I just put my whole bag into a farm. What is it? And I was like, so that leads me to just one suggestion, and then I'm going to read some questions we've had come on from someone in our community that actually outlined several questions that I think mirrors where a lot of people are at. Number one, guys, we're providing opportunity. We're trying to pioneer a new way to look at crypto, but we're not financial advisors. And a lot of people will come in the chat and say, what should I do? And although we are very helpful and we will always have patience with the person who is new to crypto, it is very important that you educate yourself. You need to educate yourself before you put money into something. You need to know what it is. And so if you don't know anything about staking and farming, if you don't know anything about pooling, if you don't know anything about that, don't put your money into it until you actually know what it is that you're putting your money into. Because if you do, I've literally seen a couple people in my DMs, they put it in there, they didn't know there was a transaction fee, they feel bad about that, they pull it out, and then they get a double transaction fee, and it doesn't work for them. So don't, staking and farming is for long-term returns and stuff. So just educate yourself, and then just secondly, we've got this question that came in from somebody in our voice chat, brand new to crypto, and they've got a couple questions. I'm just going to rapid fire for either Dane or for you, Byron. What's the difference between staking and farming?
Okay, so staking is where you stake the main coin, whether it's Super SHIBA or another, into a pool itself, and it will create residual income for you, passive income. And it doesn't involve liquidity, right? You're just staking the money, and then it's helping our project because you're providing that for us. So it's going to be a slower yield as far as the APR, but it's real simple, it's straightforward. And you have to pay a deposit fee when you come into a staking pool. So essentially, staking is looked at as the longer term option. The farming, on the other side, is a little bit more complex. So farming is where you actually generate LP tokens, which are liquidity pool tokens, which require BNB and then the currency of choice, either treats or Super SHIBA. From there, you're able to generate X amount of tokens, depending on how much you choose to BNB to put in, and how much Super SHIBA you have. Of course, the more Super SHIBA you have and more BNB you have, of course, the more you can do. So the ecosystem actually works to reward you for having a higher amount. Now, with that said, after you create your LP tokens, you take those LP tokens, you go over to the farms, and you stake essentially the LP tokens as opposed to the just normal tokens. So because you're staking LP tokens, they're going to be a little bit more valuable, because in order to create those LP tokens, you had to sacrifice both BNB and Super SHIBA. So farming is a little bit more lucrative when it comes to the rewards that you get getting them faster. But you are dealing with liquidity, which is a separate thing entirely. Whereas staking, you're not. You're just bringing your coins in. You're basically storing them, and you're generating passive income. So they're a little bit more. Farming has to do with more so liquidity, whereas staking has to do with your coins, and that's about it. So it's kind of like if you want to look at it simply, that's sort of how I view it.
Okay, and so these ones are just quick rapid fire. You guys will know this one. That was a little bit more complex because it is a complex thing. We admit that, right? This is complex. Do you still benefit from the tokenomics if you stake or farm?
Yes, you do. So there's if you have the liquidity, you own liquidity tokens, you get the liquidity reflection. So there's a certain reflection that goes to liquidity, and as a holder of liquidity, you'll get a percentage of that.
Can you stake and or farm both Super SHIBA and treats?
Byron, yes.
Yeah. Lastly, there's a lot of talk about, it's a new term for people, impermanent loss. What do people mean when they talk about that, when people are talking about staking and farming?
So if you've ever just done liquidity swapping before, then you still can suffer from impermanent loss, meaning that LP pools do they give you money, or they also can take away money if the price is going up or down. So if you're part of the LP pool and the market cap's going down, then you can be subject to impermanent loss, meaning that market cap goes down, therefore your LP pool ratio is sinking and you're suffering a loss inside of that LP pool. Now, you can also, of course, have the opposite effect where the market cap goes up and your ratio increases and you see large gains in your liquidity pool dollar amount. So yeah, that's all they mean. Impermanent loss is basically the opposite of permanent loss, the way I understand it. That's the way I look at it. So
it's basically the rules still apply when you're farming, right? The rules still apply. And
it's not risk free.
It's not risk free. It's letting you know that you can still get burned in liquidity pool the same way you can as if you were holding a token, right? People think that for some reason, people think that if you put money in liquidity, that you can't lose your money. That's false. You still can if the market cap was to tank. So you have to be aware of that. That's all that is.
Okay. I just want to kind of just AKA preach to the community for a second and just talk to you about where we're going and what we're doing. And I was thinking about it today. You know, there's a lot of chatter with everything that's been going on in the market about what people are going to do and not do. And you'll see people come into our chat and they'll say, I've yeeted 80% of my portfolio in, and I believe in this thing, and I believe in the team, and I believe in the project. And, you know, on our end, we're always talking, how can we deliver? How can we prove? You know, because we acknowledge that this is definitely an industry where a lot of people get scammed, and there are projects that are legitimate that never take up off the ground, or they take off and that's a huge pump and then a dump. And there's just so many factors to all of that, that what I want to really ask you is I want to ask you what you believe for. Because if you're believing right now for a 10x, a 100x in 1 hour, maybe your expectations are unrealistic. And if you're trading that way, it might not be the smartest way to trade. This is a long-term project. And what I really want to start transitioning, and even I'm starting to tone my own self in, is, you know, it can't be about just believing in us and the team. It can't be about just believing in the project. What we really have to ask ourselves is if we believe that cryptocurrency can be safer to trade. Because the people that I talk to that have the strongest stomachs and the best diamond hands, they're like complimentary of the team, and we appreciate that. That's encouraging. Every single person on this AMA, every single person in these chats, a lot of people on our marketing team, we're all working 20 hours a day right now. Like we're in this, we're solid in this. But don't just try and believe in us, because one day we'll let you down. We'll say we're going to do something, and then for some unforeseen circumstance, it doesn't happen. Now I got to pull out. Don't believe for just a 10x. Don't believe just for a monetary value. I know we're all here to make money, okay? But what we're really looking at is we're really talking about restoring the soul to cryptocurrency and making it safer for people to trade. That's a long-term goal. That's not something you accomplish in a day. That's not something you accomplish in a week. That's not something you accomplish in a month. And so if you want to go trade crap coins and you want to go out there and trade and do those trades, we all do it. It's a rush to it. I'm not downing it. We all have to do it, right? We've all done it before. If you want to do that, but don't expect that here straight away. When we're talking about pioneering and innovating and creating something new, this is a long process, baby. And we're in it. We're all in it. But don't just try and believe in the team, and don't just try and believe in the money part. Ask yourself if you believe in, I want to create a safer place for my kids to trade crypto, for me to actually recommend to my friends that they would get into crypto and not feel like they're going to get ripped off. You guys had something you wanted to say.
Absolutely.
I'll settle down now.
This isn't just a flash in the pan. It's obviously here to stay. That's what we're working on here. And I was just trying to iterate that, like, it's, you know, every day we're taking steps towards that. So you will start to see, we'll start, you know, gaining up. That is going to be, you know, there is going to be gradual steps towards that. It's not just going to be one big step in 6 months' time. This is we're going to start to see these improvements happening like that. We've already in the last 48 hours done the pre-sale treats, then we're on to farms and liquidity pooling, and now on to the next thing. We're getting these charts rolling out, new website redesign, things like that. The constant moves that are all building up to that larger market cap. That's happening as we speak. That's, you know, gradual steps up there.
Yeah, I just want to point out that you guys are getting talked to by a neuroscientist right now in his work post. So this is not just some like little kid, you know, team that's just like sitting on their mom's couch, like just hoping to make a scam.
Win Lambo.
Not that. Yeah, this is something that we're serious about. We want this. We really, like, I mint I want to become the next CoinGecko. When you go on CoinGecko right now, there's too much tokens. Like, you don't know what to decipher through. We're going to give you a list to decipher through that you can do and make intelligent investments in. We're going to have a place in an ecosystem where you can go on there and actually like look and hunt down coins via our site and trust that you're making a good decision, as opposed to having to go scour all the forums and Reddit and Twitter and 4chan and all this stuff. You can go on our site and do that. We want to be a household name for projects to get listed on, and a household name for people to go and find projects on. And so we're going to create that, as Ben says. It just takes time. And so there'll be growing pains. We're in a tough market right now. We're trying to get listed on CoinMarketCap. One more thing, we do have some good news with that. We're talking with the team, and we're pretty positive that we can get listed on CoinMarketCap sooner than anticipated. So we will be updating you guys with that as soon as we hear things. But just be aware that we're on top of these things. We understand we need CoinGecko, we need CoinMarketCap, we need these things. We're on it. We want centralized exchanges. We want all these things. We're jumping through all the hoops and going down all the avenues as fast as we can behind the scenes. Even if sometimes Ben, myself, and the guys aren't in the chat with you, we haven't gone anywhere. We're working around the clock. Most of us is getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day and maybe a nap here or there if we're lucky. So yeah, with that said, we're here to stay, guys. You're in a good spot, and we're happy to have.
Sorry, Dane. I want to add one more thing to that, which is, we talk about, okay, this is all going to take time. It's going to take time, but it's going to take time because we're building a massive ecosystem. Okay, if you put in perspective the time that we're delivering into other projects, there's other projects out there with a 10, 20 times market cap as us. They've been promising applications for months and delivered nothing. Okay.
On fire, for example.
Great example, right? And many, many more examples like that. So within a week, we delivered the DEX. The second day, we're delivering pooling and farming. Like, we're going at light speed delivering. So we're not saying like, we're moving slowly. We're moving at light speed, but we're building a massive ecosystem here, and that will take time. Compared to other projects, we've delivered within a week more than other projects have delivered in 6 months and a year.
Just facts right there.
And I would just add on that too. Also, we launched, we did all these things, right? There were a lot of details that were left unchecked. There was things on our website, a LinkedIn profile was broken, and there's all these little things. The website can't be accessed. Dane's so pissed off because it can't be accessed where he lives. There's so many other things, right? Well, we were delivering. We were what you guys wanted. You wanted us to deliver, so we delivered. But now that we have delivered those things, we're not slowing down. But what we are doing is we're saying now is the time for refinement. Now is the time to rebuild the website. Now is the time to implement these things. Now is the time to, if I got to call someone at CoinMarketCap and yell on the phone to make this happen, I'm so sick and tired of seeing in the chat CoinMarketCap because I want it done. There's so many things in branding. There's so many things in shilling. We're getting shilling groups organized. We're bringing on somebody that will organize our shilling groups and a shilling roster. And like, there's so many things that we have left unchecked because we were operating at light speed that now we've delivered some things. We're just taking our breath and we're saying, we need to focus on this and this and this and this and this and this and all these little small things. So if you feel like there's a lull and we haven't delivered the Mona Lisa to you in the next 24 hours, just know we're not going to operate at that pace all the time. We're going to ramp up on projects. We're going to deliver. Now we have to refine, because before we move on to the next thing, this has to be locked down tight. We're talking a lot about it as an executive team, about how we can scale up. There's only so many time zones that we can work on. The reason we're working 20 hours, we're not trying to brag about it when we tell you guys, it's literally difficult to try and get organized in all the different time zones. We're letting you know we're committed, but we actually need help so we could get some sleep. So we could actually maybe have one day a week with our family or something. So if you're willing to help us out with that, DM me. I'm looking for assistant community managers that I can just communicate with and message to and jump in the voice chats and not get bogged down by a lot of the DMs. And so we need your help. We need your help. Anything else you want to add, Byron? Dane?
All good there, Ben.
Yeah,
right.
We're good. We're more than happy to help you guys, but just know that we're staying busy.
100%. Thank you guys so much. And I think we're going over to voice chat right now to do a live AMA. But if you have any questions, just DM me, come to our Telegram group. You will find it on our YouTube channel and on our website.
Sounds good, brother.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Out.